Flying business class using your credit card points. It can be tough to find award space. These are the steps I would take to increase your chances of being able to snag one of those business class seats. The biggest one is trying to book in advance. So ideally like 9 to 12 months in advance, but I understand that can be tough. For example, I just found out we are going to Greece in May, and of course we want to fly business class, so these are the steps I'm taking. First up, obviously you want to do your initial search. I like to use seats.aero, but you can also just search on the airline's website directly. Next thing you want to do is check alternate routes. For this example, Denver to Corfu. Okay, let's say maybe I checked Denver to Munich and there was nothing. I would want to check these other routes as well, like London, Zurich, Frankfurt. The second thing I'm immediately doing is setting up an alert on seats.aero. You can still set an alert even if you don't have the pro version, though you're limited to just being notified via email. This is where you can name your trip. You can pick what type of points you want to use. Then you can select your airports, your dates, and what type of cabin you are looking for. Now, this brings me to the next two tips. Diversifying your points. If you have all of the different types of points, you will have way more options in how you can redeem these points. If you're limited to just one type of point, then you're limiting your options a lot more. And the next step being flexibility on both airports and dates. So when I'm putting in my search here, I'm not just putting Denver to Munich, I'm putting Denver to Europe. So this is going to pull all of the major airports in Europe, and if there are any business class flights to London, Paris, any of those locations, I'm going to get an alert. And then, of course, being flexible on your dates. If I'm trying to find 2 business class seats on one specific dates, I'm going to limit my options very heavily. So even if you can give yourself like a week of flexibility, that will increase your chances greatly. If you can also have flexibility in your departing airport, so for example, instead of us leaving from Denver, maybe we look at leaving from Chicago, that will help immensely. And I know so many of you are going to say, oh, but then you have to pay to get to Chicago. But us flying to Chicago in economy on Southwest or Frontier is a lot cheaper than us paying for business class seats with cash from Denver. Lastly, this may be obvious, but make sure you have a stash of points that are ready to be used. So plan in advance, make sure your points are ready to go when that deal pops up, and then you want to book it as fast as possible once you get an alert that it's available. So here's the recap. 1, book as far in advance as possible. 2, check alternate locations. 3, set an alert so you are notified when any space pops up. And 4, make sure you have plenty of points and a diverse bank of different types of points. And 5, if you can be flexible on your dates and the location you're flying to, that would help greatly as well.